one of the band directors here at Thomas Worthington. I'm beginning my 8th year here at Thomas Worthington, and I just finished year 15 of teaching. And this is a wonderful, wonderful place. A great place to invest into your children. They're going to learn a lot of things about themselves. They'll meet a lot of great people, have some really strong relationships and connections. And we, get to do this together in raising wonderful people and providing some really great opportunities. We don't do it alone, and I have some really awesome people to get to work with. I would like to introduce them now. If you just give me a quick round of applause. But those are Eric Doolittle, Ryan Alexis, Corey Black, Sarah Borman, Chris Hines, and Ryan Kilgore. This is truly a world-class staff. This is truly a world-class staff. We have tons of years of experience amongst us and a lot of expertise, several master's degrees, and music is what we love, band is what we love, and we invest a lot of time and energy. On a typical year, we typically start planning next year's marching band events in November. We start planning the show, and we sometimes have the calendar out about a year in advance. It takes a lot of thought and a lot of effort to make a great experience for your children. So, we're looking forward to a lot of things this year. There's still some question marks from COVID, as I'm sure that we're starting to come out of that. But we are looking forward to the return of football games and away football games, contests, Club W. And if you're not sure what Club W is, just by show of hands, how many are familiar with the term Club W at least? All right, so about the other half then, not sure. Club W, we get to put on 5 of these after each home game. So we have 5 home games. We'll put on a Club W after each home game. And we rent a building downtown. It's right across from Kilbourne Middle School. And we hire a DJ, and we have some pizza, and we have some snacks, and our students get to hang out under some supervision and have just some great social time with their friends. And we ask that you pick them up before midnight, because that's what Worthington curfew is. But it's really just a lot of fun. Again, another chance to make relationships and friendships that truly last a lifetime. I still have friends from my high school days of marching band that I keep in touch with and talk to, and we get to experience a lot of things together. So looking forward to Club W returning. Looking forward to traveling. Our marching band travels a lot of places. We are seen traveling all over the state of Ohio, and every now and again we're traveling out of the state. We're looking forward to 2022 and traveling to Florida and perhaps Walt Disney World again. So the first thing we're going to talk about, just as an order of business, is eligibility. Marching band is an extracurricular activity. If you participated in marching band when you were in high school, you see a lot of things across our state. The norm, I would say, the norm used to be, if you were in marching band, it was a graded class during the school day. Ours is not. Ours is a club activity after school. It's an extracurricular activity, which means that we have to meet some eligibility requirements to participate in that. Now, from our COVID experience, a lot of those have been waived for the early parts of that, which is nice, because everybody's got a little bit different situations. Some people do it in the online school, and it gets kind of messy pretty quickly. So we have kind of a grace period for the first 9 weeks, and after that, the eligibility requirements will kick back in. So during these first 9 weeks, to remain eligible to finish out the season, because I think our season spills over a week or two into the second quarter. Our students have to be enrolled in at least 5 credits worth of classes at the high school level. And for your reference, at least 4 classes at the 7th and 8th grade level, but 5 credits worth of classes for the first quarter. It's very, very rare to have students not meet that, but you have to be passing 5 credits worth of classes at the first quarter. It's really, really simple. Okay? So we'll do some more, nuts and bolts kind of things. We'll also just kind of switch it up with some pro tips and how to make this a positive experience. I'm going to go and pass this off to my colleague and friend, Eric Doolittle.
We've got it made. Thanks again for coming out this evening. We got a couple other things to kind of talk to you about, just kind of the business order of things, just to kind of hear it one more time. A lot of these things that I'm going to bring up to you are common sense things But there may be some things in there that you might not have thought about, so you might want to take a note or two if you want to throw something in your phone, just to make sure that you've got this in line, because if everybody has everything they need, students are going to be happier, and that's ultimately the goal that we want. So one of the things I'm tasked with is to speak about what students should bring when we start into our camp experience this week with pre-camp, next week with band camp, and then post-camp. So what to bring to each rehearsal. And so for each rehearsal, obviously there's going to be some things that we all would get. Your instrument, obviously. Now, there are some specialty instruments that will be assigned to them. So French horn players, we're not going to be using French horns, we're going to be using mellophones. Tuba players, we're going to be using sousaphones, and you'll get assigned that. Drum line will get assigned specific drums and or front ensemble equipment to use. So whatever your instrument is, if you know that you're not going to be using that instrument for marching band, you wouldn't have to bring that. But if you're a trumpet player, trombone player, flute, clarinet, saxophone, absolutely bring that. Music, make sure that you have your music, and this is each time, not just once, but bring it each time. And then you can make marks in it, and you're going to be able to make marks in it with pencils during rehearsal. So that's another thing, bring a pencil and have that. For marching outside, some type of athletic attire, all right? So smart clothing to wear in August and late July, to where you're wearing short sleeves, short tight pants, light clothing, light colored clothing, that sort of thing, to where you're comfortable outside. Yes, we'll go back into the shade. Yes, of course, we'll go back into the building. You're not out the entire time, but you're out a good amount of the time, and we want you to be comfortable in there. And if you're wearing real heavy clothes and not thinking about a hot summer day because you may be used to being in air conditioning, you're maybe more uncomfortable than you want to be. Another thing is, and this is the most important and why we kind of listed separately, shoes, athletic shoes. Sometimes students will forget, and in the summertime they'll wear flip-flops, they'll wear surf shoes, they'll have different things that they wear throughout the time, and that's great for socializing and all of that sort of thing. But please make sure when it's time for us to do the marching portion of what we do, make sure you've got athletic shoes. If we're in an afternoon to where you are inside, or we're just doing music in the afternoon, sure, wear those flip-flops, that's not a problem. No big deal at all. But if we're on the field, we want athletic shoes simply because you need to be moving, you need to be turning, and you need to have that support on your feet to where you're not uncomfortable, because it won't hurt for the first few minutes, but after a while of doing that, then, oh, ouch, my feet hurt after a time. Well, yeah, you gotta have good, comfortable, yet supportive athletic shoes. Bring a bottle of water or a jug of water, something that you can absolutely fill up, put ice in it, and bring that. Make sure that it's water. Don't bring, I bring a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi. Not a smart idea. Very uncomfortable when you're outside. Do not do that. We haven't seen that in years, but yeah, years ago. Anyway, we had some bad habits that we wanted to get rid of. So make sure that you do that. I know the students can refill some of the smaller bottles fairly easily in the school, but I don't think the regular drinking fountains are working yet. You know how they shut that down during COVID. So I don't think they've turned those back on, but you can refill a bottle of water. So students have got pretty good about doing that with them at school in the last year. So just do that, and absolutely have water with you all the time, and drink water often. That will keep you feeling great throughout our time. Sunscreen for folks, okay? Even if you've been out in the sun, and even if you think that, I'm out in the sun a lot in the summer, I don't need sunscreen. Absolutely. I would really suggest you have sunscreen on, because you're out for a certain amount of hours, and you might not have been out in the sun during that heat of the day with the sun rays coming down on you. Hat and sunglasses might be a smart idea as well, to your comfort level, how much you want to wear a hat. to keep the sun out of your eyes. And then it's always smart to bring change of socks, and we even say that with that sandals, because you go and you march on the morning grass, and it's kind of got dew on the grass, and then you get a little bit of wet. So what you can do then later on in the afternoon, like I said before, you could throw on the sandals when we're inside. Doing music, and then those shoes will dry out. And of course, happy feet are a smart idea. If anybody who's ever been hiking for a long portion of time, happy feet are the way to go, and you want to make sure that you're nice and comfortable with that. So those are the items to bring. Like I said, most of it is common sense, but you just kind of want to make sure that you're adhering to those so that you are comfortable and that you are happy. At this time, I will say to incoming freshman parents, incoming new folks that are here, first of all, welcome. But most of all, bringing your instrument every day back and forth now that we're going to be in for a good portion of the rest of the summer. Let's see, next week or the week after is when we'll start to assign those lockers that you'll see in the band room, okay? Upperclassmen already have those, and you're welcome to use those. And you can put your instrument into and out of there. And then just for this first week, new folks, you'll have to bring yours back and forth. And then we'll slowly get those out to the folks that need them in the first full week of band camp or the week after that. Just as a reminder about the schedule for the summer, this is already printed and you've probably already put it in your calendar. Good for you if you did. This week is Pre-Camp Monday. You know that because today is the picnic, so tomorrow we get started. The very first rehearsal we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we go 6 to 9. So a nice, easy 3-hour rehearsal during that time. Thursday and Friday this week, we meet from 9 to 4:30. Obviously, we take a lunchtime during that point, so it might be smart to have some food in order to enjoy yourself some lunchtime, and you're welcome to stay in the building and do that and have lunch during that time. During that, it'll probably be from 12 to 1:15, and you're welcome to have those days to where you're inside in air conditioning and nice and comfortable. Then we get into the band camp week, which is not this coming week, but the next week. I believe that's August 2nd. That week, 9 a.m. to 8:45 p.m. But don't panic. You sit there and you think, holy cow, how are you going to go for 12 hours? We're not going for 12 hours. It's just that amount of time. We basically go for 3 hours. We'll go to 9 to noon. And then at noon to 1:15 is lunch. You're welcome to do the same thing where you bring in your lunch. Some upperclassmen who drive, they can go out to lunch, all right? Or if you want to bring, or parents want to come and pick up their son or daughter and take them to lunch at home, sure, that's fine. That 1 hour and 15 minutes is theirs, and you can do whatever you want during that time. And then we come back at 1:15, and then we go, and then we work until 4 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 6, it's a 2-hour block there, that dinner. And you're welcome to stay here if you want to have just food here for dinner, or if you want to go ahead and go on home for those 2 hours, absolutely. Go ahead and do that. That freedom, of course, is yours, and however you want to do that. It would not surprise me that during some of that time, as you get to know your section members, section leaders would have a fun day where they try to do a lunch together or something like that. And so that wouldn't surprise me at all, or even a dinner, if that works out for them. So just kind of keep your ear to the grindstone, and however that works out, students communicate with your parents to make sure you let them know if there's anything that they need to know or be aware of in terms of schedule for lunches or dinner during that time. And then we come back at 6, and we go basically 6 to 8:45. So that looks like a 12-hour day, but really we take some good breaks throughout the day, but we take the good breaks for lunch and dinner and make that work out. So that's through the band camp week, the week of the 2nd. Then we have a post-camp week. Notice on the post-camp week that it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're off completely on that Thursday. All right, and then we come back Friday. And that's 9 to 4:30. So that'll be a morning session and an afternoon session with off lunchtime. And then Friday evening, that's August 13th. This isn't on the calendar yet because we don't have details yet. It's something going to be probably at the stadium some kind of, I think they termed it jamboree, with a lot of the fall sports and us, and that's where we'll have like a parent preview show of what's going to happen. That's where you'll see for the very first time students marching and playing all at the same time in the high school band. That's when first year parents get a chance to see their students perform for the very first time, and they realize that yes, my son and or daughter can handle this and do this and have a great time and have a great experience. You're also encouraged to bring a snack during any of these rehearsal times. Obviously, you can't leave the food in the school or anything like that, but during our breaks, absolutely. Keep those calories going in, because we'll work them off and you can stay and keep comfortable during that, especially healthy snacks, always smart. In your calendar, you probably already have received August 9th is Picture Day. If you haven't, you will, and we will bring this up many more times because that's a couple of weeks away. But August 9th is our Picture Day. That picture where we go down at the stadium, we take that picture at 3 o'clock. We'll change our rehearsal format on that day to where we're let out, and then the students will get into their uniforms. They'll already have done Uniform Fit Day. They'll get into their uniforms and we truck them down to the stadium, and then they take a big group picture, and then that's where you see the buddy buttons and you see all the different individual pictures being taken. And so that picture will go at 3 o'clock, and then that'll take through 4:30, and then we'll be done with rehearsal at that time. And then they'll put their uniform back and be done with that. So that's on that August 9th at 3 p.m. And so that's our Picture Day, and we'll get you more details on that. I know some people who are really, really super organized will notice that, wait a minute, if my student is first year, we just ordered our shoes, we won't have the shoes by Picture Day. You don't need the marching shoes by Picture Day. They're in the stadium, we tuck their feet under, you never see pictures of their feet. All right, that's one of the reasons why you don't see pictures of the feet, because we won't get those shoes in time for those. So we've done that 1,000 times. If you look at any of the pictures, you won't see any shoes in there, and that's the reason why. But you'll see them in the uniform, for the fall full uniform, for the very first time, and we think that you'll love that. And we'll get the picture order forms out to you. You probably remember those from Little League days and all of that, to where they would give you the picture order forms. And we'll get those out to you as soon as we receive them. We won't receive those probably until next week. And then we'll talk to you all about what to wear underneath that. Will be the same thing that you wear to Uniform Fit Day, with a light t-shirt and then athletic type shorts. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to do is remind you, and I know you've already had that reminder of tonight, once we're done with everything, please go over and have that family picture taken by Doc Barini. You'll see those on the band website, and it's a great way for families to get to know each other, and because he'll have them revolving through there pretty well. And it's awful fun to see the students in their freshman year as a family going all the way up through their senior year. That's always a blast to see each and every year. And so we hope that all the families that are here today partake in that sometime before they get out of here today. Next, we'll talk about the schedule pickup that I know students need to do, and of course that always comes into some time that we have here with our rehearsal schedule. So Mr. Scoles will talk to you about that next.
Yeah, thanks. So you should have received an email probably last week, maybe even earlier this past week here, about schedule pickup, and you have like a window to pick it up in. The best time for us to pick it up as a marching band, and I know it's going to be the same thing for some fall sports as well, is that Wednesday, August 11th. There's a time slot from 5 to 7 p.m. It's the A to Z. It's kind of the catch-all. That would be the best time for us as families to go through that and pick up our schedules and come and walk around. Now, I'll tell you that your kids are going to know this building very, very, very well by that point. We're going to spend a lot of time indoors for music, for the air conditioning during the heat of the day. We don't go outside during that 1 to 4 time. It's just too hot. So we try to take advantage of the air conditioning. But we'll place students in various parts of the building. They're going to get to know this building awfully well So chances are when they look at their schedule, they'll go, oh yeah, I know exactly where that classroom is, and I know where this classroom is, and I know where the science hallway is, and I know where the art hallway is. They're going to know every square inch of this place pretty quickly. So schedule pickup is actually a pretty smooth process for most marching band families. But again, that's Wednesday, August 11th. The 5 to 7 block is the very final block. That's the one we'd encourage you to go and attend. You'll pick them up probably in the Ox Gym for those. For those who are new to marching band, which is just about, I'd say it's 1.5 classes really. So I'd say the sophomore class is about 50% of the way through a marching band season. And of course the freshman class is going to be brand new to this. Just a couple of little tips. I would say just number one, practice or hang out with a friend. You can call it an accountability partner or whatever, but it makes practice way more entertaining. And for me, this is my rule for practice. It's not how much I can cram it in, how many hours I can put it in. It's how frequent can I visit it? Can I do it 3 times now, and then 3 times during lunch, and then if I watch TV or the Olympics, can I do it 3 times during the commercial break on the Olympics? There's like a lot of little ways to sort of cut at it, and the more frequently you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And when you feel like you're getting good at it, well, then you have a sense of pride and you find it very enjoyable. So find a friend and do it often. It doesn't have to be for a very long time, but just practice something frequently. The number one scary thing to most musicians and color guard members is, am I going to be able to memorize it? And if you talk to anybody who's done marching band before, that's on the top of their list. So am I going to actually be able to do this? This seems terrifying. You're going to do how many notes? How many minutes of music? It's really okay. We're going to practice it 1,000,000 times. It's going to feel like 1,000,000 times. It's not really going to be that much. But here's the number one thing. You got to be able to play through the actual songs. If our students can actually play it, that's step number one. Okay, if you can't play it, ask for some help. We'll be able to play it pretty shortly. After being able to play it, then it's just play it until the song kind of gets stuck in your head. If you can get it stuck in your head, then you already know what it's supposed to sound like. And then after that point, it's just kind of a guess and check. Just play it again and try, I want to try the first 10 seconds without any music this time. Hey, I did pretty good. We'll try the next 10 seconds without the music. I did pretty good, but I missed this. Let me try that 10 seconds again. And there's no sense in cramming it. It's how frequently we can do it. But I can tell you by the time we reach our first football game, we are usually at about 85-90% of students are like, yeah, I have the hang of this thing. Please don't make me practice it again. But it's going to be fun. It's one of those things where you feel like you've achieved something pretty awesome, and then it becomes really, really enjoyable. Our physical forms are due tomorrow. It's the pre-participation physical is what they're called, and we need those before coming to rehearsal tomorrow. The best way, and I'm so thankful because it eliminates the middleman, that's me, you can upload them yourselves to final forms. I think there's a way to scan it in with your phone. I think I'm an iPhone user, I think if you go to the Notes app, there's a little actual scan button. You can scan it and just upload it to final forms yourself. Skips the middleman, you'll know it's done. You know it's not just sitting in my desk and waiting for me to make the next visit to the athletic office, because it does happen. We do get pulled lots of different directions. It'll make its way there, but some of you who've had to email me of, hey, did you actually get my kid's physical? Yeah, we did. Sorry, it's coming pretty soon. You can actually skip the middleman and do that yourself. Physicals are good for 13 months. Okay, so I would suggest making a copy of it, scan it in your phone. If your child plays another sport, you can use that same physical for that sport in another season. It's good all year long, and you don't have to make the trip to the doctor or go hunt it down, or make sure that the athletic office still has it. So we'd ask you to get physical forms uploaded to Final Forms tomorrow. We'll still take the paper copies and we'll deliver if we need to as well. Okay. Mr. D is going to talk about daily good habits.
I get a chance to talk to you about, again, when you show up at the rehearsal. What do you do when you show up at the rehearsal? Well, first of all, when do you show up at the rehearsal? If, say, for example, our first rehearsal tomorrow is at 6 p.m., it is really smart for folks to arrive at least 15 minutes in front of things. You don't need a half hour or anything like this. But band is a very social activity. We want it to be. This year, more than ever, we really want to get back into the normalcy of things. And marching band is all about students getting to know each other. It's about a big group of people that really get along so well. So when you show up to rehearsal, if you're expecting to come in 2 minutes till 6, quickly get your instrument ready, get going, and then get out to the front lawn and be hydrated and ready to go. You're probably not going to have time to talk with folks. So if you get here 15 minutes in front, you get to the band room, you casually get your instrument out, you say hello to somebody, you walk with them, and you go out to the front field, you remember your instrument, you take your water bottle, and you're set to go. It's just so much easier at the very beginning of things if you get here at least 15 minutes in front. Again, you don't need a half hour or anything like that, but we recommend 15 minutes just watching the students doing that, and then they get a chance to be here and socialize, and then they get a chance to chat, and then we start off on such a great note. Also, they get their instrument out, and you fill up your water bottle. All right, so you've got it started, ready to go. We had students doing a great job of bringing those water bottles, and then we saw at the very first water break, we saw students and they were empty. Unless they were really thirsty just before rehearsal, we're going, maybe we ought to get some water in there at the very beginning. So that's not a bad thought. And then all of those things we talked about with getting the equipment ready to go, and then allowing a few minutes, because we don't practice here, we don't practice in back of the school, we practice on the very front of the school when we do our marching. Yeah, smart, we practice right there on 161, so we can practice, we joke around, we practice in traffic. Yeah, so anyways, we pretty much stay on the field, but we're out there, and that's a little bit of a distance to walk. And so it takes a couple of minutes to do that. All right, so smart money says get here a little bit early so that you can enjoy your friends, and we're in good shape. I think we talked to you earlier a little bit about taking breaks. We are very smart about that in this day and age with heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Not that we've ever seen that, but with students getting acclimated to the heat and this time of the year in Ohio, we really want to make sure that we are smart about that. So, when we take water breaks, we expect everybody to drink water. All right? We can't watch every single individual. They're in high school. They can do this. But we will announce the water breaks for sure. We really want everybody to drink water during that time, okay? And drink a healthy amount of water, a comfortable, healthy amount of water. But we will take breaks every 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the heat, how much sun, all that sort of thing. And so we try to be very, very smart about that so that everybody is nice and comfortable throughout their time. And that's our big goal with everything. But that's our biggest concern of the number of students that end up maybe not feeling so great or not having a great experience is they're not as acclimated to the heat, so they maybe don't always take the advice of drinking as much water as they should. When we start to get into these 9 a.m. also, the other suggestion that we like to have is to make sure that you've had something to eat in the morning before you come. Because you get going here at 9 a.m., we get going about 10:30, if people haven't had anything to eat, it starts to wear on them a little bit, and then they're like, oh, I don't feel so good. What would you have for breakfast? Is usually my very first question. Or, have you had enough water? Or to say, what have you had for breakfast? Nothing. Well, that probably will lend itself to not being as comfortable as you should be. So, in order to have a great time, be real smart about that, and be smart before the rehearsal time, okay? At this point, we're going to bring up our booster president for this year and last year, and he's going to talk with you and the parents about some booster things coming right up. So please say hello to Mr. Jeff McCallister.
Thank you. I really appreciate everybody being here. I feel like the weather did us nice. Everything did us nice, except we had a couple of other food trucks scheduled. The taquitos truck is out here and ready for whoever wants to get some tacos. We had a barbecue thing scheduled also. Kona Ice, I think it's still coming. Kona Ice is on their way, so if I finish early, which is not likely, stay here and get some Kona Ice. So it's when we've had this event in the past, it's been a potluck picnic where the freshman families bring desserts, and the juniors and sophomores bring side dishes, and the seniors bring whatever they want to. So last year, obviously, we couldn't have this event. The year before, it got rained out. So really, the only people who have even had any know about this event are the senior parents or those who had older students. So beyond the social aspect of this event, it gives the boosters a chance to give you guys some information and to let you know about volunteer opportunities that are available for people who want to be involved. And I have to tell you that volunteering for the boosters at some of these events is it's really rewarding, and it's also pretty darn important to keep your students in the best possible place that they can and help give them the best possible experience they can. So we usually have this cycle where we have a committee chair all signed up. We have a shadow for that committee chair signed up already before this event. So they just come and they sit up at the tables and they recruit people to fill out their committees. Well, in some places that is in place. We have committee chairs. However, because of COVID again, we have several positions that have neither a chairperson nor a shadow. There's also pretty much a year's worth of work that didn't really get done. A lot of places it didn't need to get done because those activities got canceled and events got canceled. So we didn't need a uniform chairperson last year because they didn't wear uniforms. No club dub chair because there's no club dub. But we have a couple of dozen committees in all. And about half of those still need even a committee chairperson. So you've probably already seen the folks out here at their tables. And maybe you've already signed up, which is great. I really appreciate it. And they really appreciate it. So we have a few that are in pretty urgent need of some immediate help because they're for activities that are kind of imminent. First, as you may have seen, we have Uniform Fitting Day coming up next Saturday, when your student will be fitted and assigned their Friday night uniform. You'll pay any outstanding fees, order accessories like gloves and shoes. Make sure you bring your credit card or your checkbook to that event because we'll expect payment at that time. Though I would encourage you to see me if any alternative payment arrangements need to be made. You can also get a look at some of the spirit wear that's available, which I'm modeling today. But it takes a lot of volunteers to make that event work. There was a Sign Up Genius link included in the Boosters newsletter that went out today, and if you didn't get that newsletter, see me or one of the directors, and we'll make sure your contact information is correct. Use that link or talk with Rebecca Reed, who I think is, she's there waving. Talk to Rebecca about, I'm sorry, I'll try to stay centered in the camera. About the jobs that still need filled for Uniform Fit Day, which actually is a fun day for parents to come in, get to meet a lot of the different students and be involved in getting the uniforms arranged that make these guys look so great on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons. So Uniform Fit Day coming up next Saturday needs volunteers. If you can help out, please do. Some of our other more immediate pressing needs are lining up a full pit crew, which is the group that hauls all of the the frontline ensemble and other equipment out to the field from the shed and sets up for halftime or for the various competitions. You know, I don't know if they ride on the bus or they they travel together and get refreshments before and after the games. But Jason Hexamer, also over here, he is heading up the pit crew. See him if you would like to help out. It's also a really fun job. Those guys have a good time. It's you know, one of the more physical labor involved jobs that you can volunteer for, but it is a fun time, and again, you get to hang out with a lot of the students, which really is a fun time for a lot of parents. So Jason is eagerly awaiting you to sign up with the pit crew. We also need chaperones who are willing and able to travel with the band on the buses to the various football games and competitions. Jenny Dedman is over there, and she is waving in the purple shirt to sign up for sign chaperones up. So we need to get those lined up. That you know, those football games will come faster than we realize, and so we need to make sure we send 7, 8 buses to events, and we need 2 to 3 chaperones per bus at each one of them. So there's a lot of positions that need filled there. So by all means, sign up. You get into the games for free when you're on the pit crew or a chaperone, which is a nice little perk for volunteer position. We also need to put together a water crew, which is in charge of making sure everybody stays hydrated at all these events, handing out water to the students in the stands, and making sure the water is available and replenished and all that. I still need a chairperson for that committee, in fact. So please see me if you're interested in being a water crew. That's something that's needed at every event. Also, here's a big one. At the end of band camp, we'll have our biggest fundraiser of the year, which is Tag Day. Our kids don't sell magazines. They don't sell candy or car washes or anything like that. They take one summer Saturday and they go door to door. They hit every single mailing address within Worthington schools and they ask for money. And it is lucrative. The band boosters make a lot of money off of this because the kids show up in their uniforms and people always want to help out. And it's, as you might imagine, sending 200 kids out into the community takes a lot of organization as well. You need drivers to drive groups of 4 kids out to an assigned neighborhood and keep track of the money they collect. This is a big job. Jason, right? No. Matt Cultice, correct. The Cultices are in charge. Where are you, Matt? Are you ready? Matt, sorry, Matt. I knew. Matt's in the back. He is in charge of Tag Day. He's taking, he's got a sign-up sheet over there, yes, to get drivers. If he doesn't wrangle you today, you can expect to see him back at Uniform Fit Day because this is, it is a big job. A lot of people needed to do that work. And again, it's another opportunity for you as a parent to get to know some of the kids in the band, and it's a rewarding time. So we did it virtually last year, and I was pleasantly surprised with how well that virtual event did. But it is nowhere near what we've always gotten from sending kids door to door. So since we're able, we are going to get the kids out into the community. That's August 14th, I think. August 14th. And there will be a pool party afterward at the rec center. And I need somebody to organize the pool party also for that event. I think that is everything that is, nope, wrong. Preview of Champions. Also, this is our contest that we host at the end of the at the end of football season, or the end of the fall. Again, the Hexamers in charge of that one too, which I truly appreciate. Thank you, Marissa, Jason. They need volunteers. There are as many volunteers, I think, needed for that event as pretty much the rest of our volunteer list combined. There's so many different committees. That need staffed to make that day come off. I won't even start to try and name them. Jason's the person. Jason is the Hexamer, so the folks who know all that needs done there. So please come by and stop and talk to them about Preview of Champions work, because again, that's a huge job. It's another big fundraiser for us also, by the way. So it's important that we have that well-tuned. Anyway, there are a few open positions, a few other positions that need to be filled. Not nearly as desperate as those are. If you'd like to find out more, you can always shoot me or any of the other boosters officers an email. I'll make sure that those email addresses are in the newsletter. But I will also encourage anyone and everyone who's interested in learning more to come to our monthly Band Boosters meetings, which are generally the fourth Monday of every month. I'm thrilled to announce that these are going to be in person again this year after they were Zoom last year to various levels of success. I would love to report that those went off without a hitch, but I would be lying. So watch the newsletter for the schedule and reminders for every month, and I think that's all that I have, except to apologize to both Hexamers and to anybody else whose name that I have forgotten during this whole speech. So thank you for letting me make my pitches.
Thank you. So as we kind of wrap things up today, I just want to echo what Mr. McCallister said, and that is, we do have some needs. As COVID has kind of put marching men, to a nap a little bit. We're waking things back up. We do have some needs to fulfill. I will say, as a student growing up whose parents were not involved, so I'll give you that side of the coin. I had my like adopted parents. I got to know my friends' parents really well, and you kind of make these really great relationships with other people in the band. And speaking to my parents to this day, they said one of their regrets was, I wish I was more involved. I wish I was on the bus with you as you guys won the competition. I wish I was with you guys as you're performing the halftime show. So it's really rewarding. It's a lot of fun. If you're one who likes to know who your kids are hanging out with, there's no better way than just to be right there with them. You get to have the same shared memories together. There's a lot of great things. We do ask for a lot of help because we have an awesome opportunity, many opportunities in front of us that we like to give our students. It's a large organization, and many hands make light work. We don't want you to be, slaves to this volunteer position or anything like that. We just want you to come and help. And so the tables over here to my right are just places that you can come and help. Whatever works in your schedule, please come and help us the way that you can. Now, in a lot of these things, we're talking about just a lot of general concepts and some general advice. If you have specific questions, I'd like you to ask. First off, your neighbor. Hey, neighbor, or new band family that I just met. Can you answer my question for me? That's a great place to consult somebody who's been through this before. You can also consult our band handbook, which is in that Google folder. Just a great reference material as well. And if there's something you're truly stumped on, you can shoot Mr. Doolittle and I an email. We'll respond to it. It's best to come up with as many answers on your own as possible. That's why we come up with all those resources. But we're all in this together. We're trying to make great things happen for students. We are excited. I am beyond excited to get things rolling again and have some great opportunities for our students to experience again. One last plug here for Mr. Dale and Dr. Barini for taking family photos. Again, we'll post them on the website. Get a chance for you to learn some names. We'll learn some names as well. It looks like Kona Ice is here, and the taco truck. I'm going to visit the taco truck today. The taco truck is here. If you have anything that you need us to address, please come and say hello afterward. Otherwise, thanks for being here. We'll start pre-camp rehearsals at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you.